Well, welcome back. We're going to take a quick look at the weather with Sean Quinn. And Sean, what's it looking like out there?
It's cooling things off. We're expecting to see that across the region, but in a couple of hours, or at least even right now, a little strong onshore flow could be kicking in just to our north, and that might be ratcheting up the winds. So we'll take a look at that in just a moment. Today's highs, again, still well above normal, but still taking a few degrees off of what we've seen the last few days, where it has been so indeed warm. Coastal areas still well above normal, but again, taking just a few degrees off as we start to sort of wind down this latest heat wave. Currently watching the weather very closely because of right here. It's 70s along the central coast, still very warm inland, but then it's still very warm along the south coast. And as I mentioned, we do have some wind issues possibly brewing out there in the form of a little bit of a sundowner. You can see right now the winds are fairly mild, but they have picked up noticeably over the last couple of hours. A couple of viewers have even called in and said that it got a little warmer. I know Elizabeth in San Roque mentioned that her thermometer went right back up as we saw those little breezes. So wind advisory through 3 a.m., sundowner, and of course, this is so obvious, elevated fire danger. Whenever those winds do blow out of the passes and canyons, they have the habit of really warming things up, drying things out, so we'll keep a close eye on that. Really nice, welcome storm system is trying to work its way into Washington State. We know the fires up there have just been brutal, so the good news is west of the Cascades this way, they are getting ample rainfall. Unfortunately, though, the eastern fires, they're just getting a little bit of wind, so kind of a mixed bag there. Now, that storm system is going to help us in the form of a stronger onshore flow. As you can see, we'll kind of dig up the fog over the next couple of days. Still stay very warm inland, but cooler weather is definitely expected as we head in over the next couple of days. Now I'll step out of the way. Look at that, a very active Pacific hurricane run, 3 of them right there in a row. The one to your left is Kilo, which is not much of a threat. Ignacio, though, that's the one right near Hawaii. And Jimena, it was just off to the right of your screen. Now Ignacio is expected to sort of roll right up along the right side or northeastern side of the Hawaiian island chain. So the good news is it looks like they'll dodge it, but it's awfully, awfully close. So that means they will want to keep a very close eye on that storm system. Warm again tomorrow, hot inland, but not that bad. Coastal areas a little bit cooler, still looking pretty good, and possibly seeing just a little bit of fog over the next couple of days. Expected to deepen as we head into early next week. A little bit of surf out there. There's a southern hemi, but also some wind swell on top of it. And a quick look at a couple of our forecast maps. There it is right there. Some and 70s for Santa Barbara before we kind of warm things up again as we head toward next weekend. Lompoc, there's your forecast. Keeping it on the cooler side with more marine layer. And we'll go ahead and stop on Santa Maria and as well looking at San Ynez, where you can see still warm, but still cooling things off. Yeah?
Thanks for that, Sean. 10 years ago, Hurricane Katrina slammed into the Gulf Coast, devastating the region, including New Orleans. And at the time, the storm destroyed lives, ruined businesses, and wrecked buildings. But since then, progress has been made, thanks to the resilience of its locals, a host of newcomers, and billions of investment dollars. Earlier today, a ceremony was held in New Orleans to honor those who lost their lives in the storm. A wreath was placed at a tomb where 80 unidentified bodies from Katrina are currently buried. The ceremony was followed by a memorial celebration at St. Bernard Parish, and later tonight, an interfaith prayer service with musical performances is set to wrap up the day's Katrina memorial services, with former President Bill Clinton headlining the affair. And coming up, some old Volkswagen taxicabs in Mexico are getting a second chance. We'll tell you how one man is putting some rev back into these well-worn classic cars.